Hello and thanks for joining the first edition of Journalist Hangout. This week, I'm Ayodele Ozubakun. Today on the program, coffee imposed in Plateau State as police confirm 86 killed in herdsmen attacks in 11 villages. And later on the show, Oshomole says no losers at APC convention as Saraki Dogara tell him to stamp out injustice. I'll be hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitoju, Wale Adeoye, and Mayor Akipelu. So if you are ready, let the hangout start now. Thank you for joining us. The late Chino Achebe averred in his classic novel, Things Fall Apart, that we must learn to build water when it is only ankle deep. This age-long adage, Igbo adage, seems to be the loss on our psyche as we fail to root out evil at appropriate time. Before it gets larger and become unimaginable, the endless violence between farmers and cattle herders has reared its ugly head again, this time in 11 villages of Plateau State, as at the last count, the bloodshed has led to the deaths of over 86 people, with several others injured and about 50 houses burnt. A dusk-to-dawn curfew has been imposed in some parts of the state to forestall further breakdown of law and order. Babajide, for the police to come out to say 86, I believe we should have well over 150 or well over 100, if 86 is the official figure. And when you read the papers today, you start seeing conflicting figures. We're not good when it comes to accurate statistics and number because we don't even, that's a discussion for another date. But earlier on the news, I spotted the reaction of Mietiala. And they said it was a reprisal attack, that at a point in time they were looking for some of their people, maybe 3 or 4 or 5 of them, and that they lost some cows, and that might have been a reprisal attack that claimed 86 lives. Babaji.
Yes, no doubt about it. For the ignorant liars on Facebook and other places who keep on saying these killings are sponsored by politicians because they don't want Buhari to win and because elections are coming. Baseless lies that have no foundation at all in reality. This is confirmation that this thing has nothing to do with politics. And I keep saying it for the people who appear to have the hands-free set permanently in their ears, that the president, when he went to Taraba, said there that these killings are economic in nature, not political. That's a honest president speaking. And people who want to pretend that they love Buhari even more than Aisha, his wife, they are the ones who keep telling us, oh, it is politicians doing this. If we choose to lie to ourselves as a people, there's no way we will solve this problem. There's no way. Why are we like this as a people? Why do we prefer to lie like people who have no fear of God? These killings have nothing to do with politics. The same way we claim that Boko Haram was being sponsored by Jonathan, that he was the one even providing weapons for them. This is what we are seeing now. When people think that the way to support the government is to continue to lie, the president of the country says this thing is economical in nature. You sit down, hold on to the miserable phone and begin to lie on Facebook and other places, turning Nigerians against one another. I mean, what do we gain from this? Look at what Mietiala is saying. And I've always said it that for every attack by the militia, by the Fulani militia, there must have been a reason. Something. I've been saying it. There must have been a reason. It's either you poison their cattle because you are angry that cattle trampled on your farm crops, or you killed a Fulani boy, as it happened in Plateau State sometime last year, or you killed some headsmen, or you rustle their cattle, or you kill their cattle in anger. These are the things that bring conflict, not a politician who wants to win an election. The way to, you will see that the way to win an election is not simply to get people to be killing themselves. No. Because with this, even with this president, that can't work. He can't work. If you say they are killing people in the North Central because they don't want him to win in those places, there is no way he can lose all the states of the North Central. And he will win in some other places. So that is not, and I believe that Nigerian politicians are smarter than the people who sit down and spew absolute rubbish on Facebook. They are smarter. They know that that place is not the main battleground in the next election. They know how many votes are in the North Central. So, by the way, let's put even that by the side. The head of the North Central chapter of Miyetti Allah said clearly that, look, we lost in Fan Village alone, 300 cattle were rustled. They stole 300 of their cattle in Fan Village. 36 cows killed by Birom youths. Another 174 cattle rustled. This is the source of their anger. They don't just get angry or engage people to go and kill for nothing. Now, moving away, the leader of Miyetti Allah in Plateau State, these killings, to show you the blatant incompetence of the Nigerian security forces, these killings began about 2 weeks ago. If you've been monitoring TVC, you will have been reading reports of some villages being attacked. And in Barkin Ladi, what we could have done was to fortify the area, secure that area. But we didn't do anything. Go back, even as early as like Wednesday, we carry report of people killed in some communities in that area. Yeah. And before then, the Miyetti Allah leader in Plateau State had shown videos to journalists. See how they kill our cattle. See, these people rustle our cattle. And when we try to defend ourselves and even rescue some of the cattle, they attacked us. This is the source of the anger. Okay. It's not a politician somewhere who is after Buhari's seat, looking for Buhari's position. It's not the one conjuring violence. Let's situate the source of violence and look for how we can solve the problem. Let's stop the lies.
Mayor, when you look at this, there's a kind of attempt to equate the number of those cattle, as in, when did we start comparing?
I'm scandalized that in a country, that means Nigeria has gone to the dogs. If people can acknowledge that repressive attacks that killed over 100 people is because cattle were rustled or that cattle were stolen or killed, that means we are in serious trouble in Nigeria. For people to go about going to villages, killing people just because some people stole their cattle or stole or killed some people. Because you see, the problem is that we have to accept that the so-called Fulani herdsmen or Miyetti Allah, they seem to behave as if they are above the law. And the government does not have the will to confront them. They treat them with kid gloves. That's why they do what they do. Yes, because there are, in every community, there are bad eggs and criminals. So if some Birom youths stole cattle or killed, or in the course of that stealing those cattle, maybe kill some people, which they didn't say, they were just talking about cattle, that they stole 600 cattle. How can you equate 600 cattle with one life? Not to talk of 100 lives. It is ridiculous. That shows we don't know what we are doing. The government and security agencies don't know what they are doing.
Wale, when you look at the relationship between the Fulani and the Birom people from time, it has always been, this cat and mouse relationship. But looking at these people, at the point in time that they stole their cattle, I expected that the Nigerian police, they would have reported to law enforcement agency, and these people would have been identified, and those youths would have been arrested and prosecuted.
Well, I think the clash between the herdsmen and indigenous people, including Birom and Gas. And many of that. In fact, there are about 80 ethnic groups in Plateau State alone. Birom just happened to be one of them.
It's dominant.
Yes. It's a recent phenomenon. In fact, Jos used to be one of the most peaceful states, communities in this country. You know, you see white people always, wishing to settle in Jos. You know, it was a mix of different types of people from different parts of the world. So what is going on in Jos is really anti-history of that country, of that community that used to be very peaceful. You've spoken about this recent clash, but then it's more or less an anniversary of bloodletting, because 6 years ago, exactly around the end of June and July, there was this similar crisis that took place in the same Bakin Ladi local government that even took the life of a senator who was, in the National Assembly, and a member of the Plateau State House of Assembly, Geyang Dantong, the senator representing Jos North, and then a member of the House of Assembly, they were killed. They were coming from a burial of about 50 people that were murdered in July 2012. So it's almost exactly 6 years now. And the same thing is happening. The same spot, the same local government, the same pattern, the same actors. So, and what happened in 2012 when President Jonathan was in power? For those who are saying, it's an APC affair and all that, it's been on. 50 people were killed in 2012. But 6 years later, the same thing has happened in a more miserable manner. So it shows that we don't have an effective means of preventing crisis from reoccurring. This attack was well coordinated. There were no early warning signals, even though the signs were there. Like Jide said that 2 weeks ago, we have seen those signals. Nothing was done.
Every day after.
Every day after, people were being killed, and nothing was done to prevent this killing. And I'm not aware that there has been any conscious effort to even bring the parties together to sit down and talk. The Mietiala, the indigenous people in Plateau State, have there been any meeting of stakeholders whereby resolutions are made? And then, we abide by these resolutions. You know that the governor of Plateau State was blaming Benue, that it was because of the law that Benue made. But now, Benue has, Plateau has no law. Yeah. So it means that it's not about whether Benue has made a law or not. It's about having an effective mechanism to respond to crisis and having an effective intelligence gathering mechanism, and also the political will on the part of the leaders. It's not just about the government, the federal government alone. It involves the people, the government, and also the international community. Because the way things are going now, it's as if Nigeria cannot address this problem. So we have to look at it from different manners, in a way that we are going to realize that what is happening in the country can snowball into a bigger problem if effective measures are not put in place to prevent this carnage.
Julie, talking about security, because this thing wouldn't have happened in the space of an hour.
No.
To raise down those houses, to go from one community to the other and everything, it could take 2-3 hours or more than that.
The killings began around 1 p.m. on Saturday, and it went on till the next day. So it's not a question of 2 hours, 3 hours. Those places, one of the reasons it was difficult to
access
to do anything, when they began attacking a particular village, villagers in the area, other residents of other villages in the area raised an alarm. They told the JTF operatives in the area that, look, these guys are coming. Please come and defend us. But the problem of the terrain was what made it impossible for soldiers to effectively respond or promptly respond. Now, you look at a place, there's a place called Kura Falls, where you have the Kura Falls that people used to go to in those days, and you have the electricity company, the headquarters of the electricity company. You will need by bike at least 3 hours from Barking Ladi to get to that place. Now, if it will take you 3 hours on bike to get to Kura Falls, how long will it take soldiers in riding, even if it's multi-terrain vehicles or the rest of them, to get to those places? They will simply not be able to get there, you know? So the terrain provides a serious challenge. As we speak, anyone who tells you that only 86 people died is just lying, because there are still people who are killed. There are still corpses of people in the bushes that the security forces have not even been able to go there. Because what they were saying, when journalists even made efforts to get to those villages, what they said was, look, it's not time to go to those places yet. We need to ascertain the level of safety of that area. And of course, when these people also attack, you know, they come in large numbers. And then you position 3 police soldiers to guide the village. And they come in dozens, carrying sophisticated weapons. There's no way the soldiers will be able to overwhelm them. That's what happens most times when you hear that soldiers refuse to go to a place. They too have paid with their lives in the past. It's the same thing that is happening in Zamfara. Anytime, these guys, the bandits in Zamfara, can operate for 5 hours and nobody will come to the aid of the people. It is rampant. And that's why the Emir of Ankara is frustrated. Because how do you raise an alarm and the security operatives don't come to assist you? That's why people have fled their villages. Many people in Zamfara have fled to Katsina. So this is the situation that we found ourselves. Those people in remote villages, the Fulani militia continues to kill people where they know that it will be difficult for security forces to confront them and stop the killings. They go to remote communities. Have you ever heard that they went to a town where there is a police station in place? They don't. It's remote villages that they want to go to kill people. They don't want to lose their lives, but they want to take people's lives.
Okay. I think we have the governor of Plateau State.
Military personnel we had hired, you know, to guard us at the service had actually left. They actually left before the service, you know, was over. And we were actually coming out on our own. So it was actually still a convoy. Now, as we were approaching Cafe Abu, where a military checkpoint is, just somewhere around Mahanga Junction, around, I think, the junction to Exland or something. And we literally did we know actually that there was an ambush, you know, of gunmen laying in the bushes. And from left and right, there was just heavy gunfire. None of us actually knew. The driver, nobody actually anticipated all of that. So the gunfire was so heavy, you know, and it was so fierce that even when we were driving off, even when we managed to escape, they were still chasing after us with, you know, shooting. And just shortly after the spot where the gunmen had laid the ambush, there was a group of another armed men. These ones were actually carrying machetes and of course throwing stones at us.
Very, very unfortunate that an incident is happening again like this. But however, all of us who are in Abuja, I had to call back my business, my trip, and immediately rush in. And I came in, we were able to clear a lot of people from Mararaban Jama. Although some cars were damaged there. What I'm appealing to people of Plateau State is, please remain calm. There's nothing that is beyond us. So I'm appealing to people, by the time it is coffee, let them remain indoors. We'll know what to do. I am back to the state. Government is ready to go out to continue to protect people.
An eyewitness there, and then the governor of Plateau State, that's Samuel Alongo. And Mayor, I'm looking at the cost of life, as in I'm looking at how did we get to this stage in a situation whereby it's so cheap to maul anybody down? And
yeah, I think it's the same. I think it's the same factors that led to Boko Haram being what it is today. Because when Boko Haram started, the same thing, government didn't take it seriously. They took it with kid gloves, and it became an organization that is so difficult to contain. What these Fulani militia are doing, the government has allowed the problem to fester, because it is not, we say this, I can remember that we've discussed this in different areas here more than 10 times. So it has become a major problem. But what my own belief is that the problem has to do with the government. There's not enough willpower to confront that menace. I agree that there are challenges, but the primary duty of government is to protect lives and properties. That's the first primary duty of government. That is why everybody decided to forgo their own individual liberty for government to be able to exercise the power on their behalf. So if government cannot protect the people of North Central, then they've lost their authority to be government in those areas. Because these militias, because like they are not, yes, we call them Fulani herdsmen, but the way they operate and what they do, they're more or less like a terrorist organization. They're like Boko Haram. That's what they do. Honestly. Because if you move from one place to the other and they do it, it happened 6 years ago. The same kind of thing happened 6 years ago. We are doing that again. God forbid, maybe another 5 years down the line, we'll still be discussing the same thing. It is the duty of government to protect Nigerian citizens. I have Monday. Monday is calling us from Edo State. Thank you for joining us, Monday.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, Monday.
In fact, first and foremost, before I go further, I want to ask a question. If the world, the United Nations, is aware of what is happening in our nation, if they are aware and there is no comment or response, I think there's a problem. Secondly, Metiala as a group or whatever they call themselves, that comment alone is enough to indict them. Retaliatory attack. On no account, that word should have come. When the governor of Benue State keeps saying they should be persecuted, people never, adhere to it. They thought it was maybe issue of the other one. And thirdly, I want to ask, there was this issue that was going around the media, that their live patron happens to be the president. I'm sorry to say...
I don't want you to go there. I'm not interested in that part. We have regulators here. The former vice president, I think at a point in time, it was the live president. And please, this not the kind of sentiment we want you to express.
It's not the one who said they should be killing people. The thing is, if we make peace amongst ourselves, because I know that the Plateau people and the Beron people and the Fulani, they made peace. The peace was brokered by the JTF, and there was even a football match to celebrate. I remember. Peace. And I was now, for a long time, no killings. Yes. Suddenly, a Fulani boy was murdered in a farm. And we went back to the orgy of killings again. For a long time, they had peace. So the thing is, they always say that eternal vigilance is the price of liberty, because peace is like the exercise of liberty itself. So if we want to have peace, the things that make us to turn against one another in a violent manner, we should be able to avoid those things. People cannot be destroying the economic life wire of other people. They will respond aggressively, because it's like, what keeps me alive, what I survive on, is what you are going after. And if such people are not sure, respect each other's space. That is it. If those people are not sure that they will get justice quickly, honestly, they will take the law into their hands. I'm not justifying what these people have done, but I've said repeatedly that killings do not just happen. Killings usually follow maybe previous killings and all that, because at the time when they had peace, we were all happy. Nobody was reading about killings in Plateau anymore. It must have even been the reason why the governor of Plateau was so confident and was speaking like that when Benue had their own problems. But you see now, what goes by the action of a misguided fellow who murdered that little boy, we have returned to a season of bloodshed in Plateau State, and nobody knows when it will end. But this is what is going on.
You see, in every community, there will be crime. It is bad for the young Fulani boy to have been killed. But normally, the law is supposed to take its course. the government was supposed to be allowed to arrest those who were guilty of that offense. To go on reprisal killings, killing a lot of people and burning houses can never be justified.
Self-help.
Because even there's no way we can arrange a city, there will still be some criminals in our midst who will do things. So if a Fulani boy, for example, goes into a farm, and maybe for whatever reason, the owner of the farm killed that person, the person that killed that boy ought to have been arrested and prosecuted. Not that some
That is
people
why I said if people do not have faith in the government, that the government will be able to ensure that justice is served, they will take the law into their hands.
If you want us to resort to self-help, that be chaos.
What I'm looking at here now is the eyewitness account. That eyewitness accountant, he was talking about the kind of ammunition,
ambushed,
the way the ammunition these guys were carrying, and the way it was sounding, sophisticated weapons and everything.
And also,
and this will bring us
demonstration of the fact that they were trained. They were not just civilians. You know, they were people who are masters in handling sophisticated weapons.
Are these mercenaries?
So
they are soldiers
now,
of fortune.
That place is not a forest. It's not a tropical forest. It's savanna. So when you have this, and you are talking about a group of about 20 or 30 people.
More than that.
And I'm worried, perhaps more than that, that 72 hours after, no single person has been arrested. The response, the pattern remains the same. The government will issue statements. The IG will send a high-power delegation to Plateau.
Don't curfew.
Tell the people to remain calm.
To remain calm. So the kind of responses that we are giving to this mystery remains the same. And it's quite unfortunate. We need to change our approach to this problem. Because a serious country where 5 lives are lost is enough to have the national flag flowing at half-mast. We are talking of almost 100 people. The whole nation should be mourning.
In fact,
but it's like
the IG should resign. Elsewhere, that's what happens.
Okay, let me quickly take Kalu from Lagos. Thank you for joining us, Kalu.
Hello, sir. Good evening.
Good evening, Kalu.
Yeah, you are doing a very good program, but I want to say that the way the government is handling this matter of Fulani herdsmen is very, very bad. Because that shows that the lopsidedness of the security people. Because I cannot see why the police will be there and the Mediala will make such a aggressive statement, and they cannot go and arrest their chairman, and they cannot make any arrest since the thing is happening. Can one cattle be compared with one life or 100 cattle?
Thank you, Kalu. Thank you. All right, we'll take this breather. When we come back, we'll discuss more. It's still Journalist Hangout. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It's the groundbreaking program of the year, Journalist Hangout, reaching you live from Television Continental here in Lagos, Nigeria. Imagine, before we went on that break, we were looking at another dimension, or during the break, to this whole killing.
Yes, because clearly the people killing Nigerians in this way, yes, hired by aggrieved parties, but they are largely not Nigerians. These are soldiers of fortune, you know, moving from Mauritania to Sudan to Niger Republic, Chad, wherever there is fight, they can be engaged to go and kill people. Many of them cannot even speak Nigerian language. We've seen it even with Boko Haram. The battle for Giwa Barracks, once immediately they arrested those boys, they couldn't speak any Nigerian language. So, and I'm happy that what happened in Kura Falls, when this militia came to kill people, Hausa men rescued some Birom people and kept them in their mosque. One of the survivors told us this. I'm sure in the course, in our news bulletins tonight, Nigerians will be able to hear him. He said, look, these guys saved us, they kept us in the mosque. What did the Hausa people say? They said, we've been living with these people for years in peace. We can't watch you kill them. So the best for Nigerians to do is to tell themselves that, look, We are one people. It has pleased God to bring us together as one people. We should not allow foreigners to come here and be killing our people, even if it is Nigerians, whether it is Mieti Allah or anybody who hires those mercenaries to kill our people. Our people who have been living together in peace have an obligation to stand up and say, no, you can't kill these people. Because if, just as Mayor said, if somebody rustled cattle, you have no right to go and kill an innocent person. Because the person you have killed is not the one that stole your cattle. Yeah. They have killed. There's a man who lost 14 members of his family. You kill women and children. You must be crazy. You can't be killing innocent people. Cattle rustlers are killing people in Zamfara now. They are killing people in Briningwari. How many villages in Kaduna have been attacked by people who lost their cattle in Briningwari? How many villages in Zamfara have been attacked by angry cattle breeders who lost their cattle to bandits in those
let's take Sule. Why Sule is on the line?
Yes. Well done, Mr. Ayu.
Thank you for joining us.
Yes. You see, we are leaving the real issue and beating around. You see, if you look at the definition of who is a herdsman, these are people who live in the bush. These are people who are not enlightened. These are people who have not gone to school. These are people who are not exposed. We lived with them before, you know. We know the kind of their mentality, the way they think. These are people that some of them, they don't even know a soft drink. Now, we have degenerated to a position whereby these people know how to carry weapons. It means something must have happened somewhere. You see, these are people that they don't know much about life. And what then we should ask ourselves, what pushed them into this, into taking arms? It means something they had been probably suffering in silence. Remember, they stay in a bush. If something happens to them, nobody to report their grievances. Nobody they report to. They die in silence. And now we reach to this position. It means definitely they have been pushed to the wall. And I think we need to look at that aspect.
Sule, does that justify the killings?
No, I am not justifying the killing.
Can we exchange cattle for human lives?
We have to look at the reasons why these people are doing what they are doing now. What led to it? What led to it?
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your contribution to Sule. Mayor?
With all respect to Mr. Sule, I understand where it's coming from. And that is what we're doing. That I think Babajide has talked on that before. Yes, it's cause and effect. There are certain things that happen.
A farmer gets to his farm the next day and discovers that your crops destroyed. Yeah. The next day, you decide to poison the crop, and
then people came, and then the cows they lost about 100 cows, and they got angry because of that, and they decided to do reprisal because of that. But you see, we cannot continue like that, because any society that does not govern by the rule of law, we descend into anarchy.
We
can't do that. Yes, that's why I said that, because we still have a government that is in place. If people do things that are criminal in nature, they should be arrested and made to face the music. We should not be doing reprisal with that, because, okay, if somebody stole your cattle, how did that translate to killing one woman, one young child in one village because somebody stole your cattle? That child did not steal your cattle. The woman did not steal your cattle. So we cannot be doing this reprisal thing. We must not accept it. And that's what I'm saying.
Sanctity of human life.
They must arrest people behind it. Especially any official of any organization, whatever they call themselves, who come out to say or justify killings should be arrested.
Yes, they should be asked questions.
Yes, they should be asked questions. You cannot justify, you cannot come to say it's reprisals. It is unacceptable where there is government.
The federal government, they are trying to create grazing areas and, ranching, maybe in 10 states for start now. How would this quell this problem?
I mean, from my view, I don't think that is the permanent solution to this crisis. Because if you are not careful, if it's not well handled, we are going to generate another form of crisis. For instance, you are picking on your state where, you want to have ranching, Ebonyi State, and some other states, Adamawa, Benue, Plateau is not there, And I'm wondering, if you want to create ranching, why is the federal government really interested in a business that's supposed to be private? Why is the federal government trying to invest public funds?
I have Nura Abdullahi, the Plateau State Chairman of Miyetti Allah. Thank you for joining us, Nura.
Thank you very much.
Nura.
Yes.
You are welcome.
Hello.
Thank you very much. I'm well.
Yes. Okay. What actually happened, Nura?
What happened in Plateau State is very pathetic and very bad. For all these days, we have been receiving attacks from all nooks and crannies of the state, especially in Bassa, Riom, Barikiladi, and Mangulo local governments. If I may give this article that almost on daily basis, I can give you account of 10 days exactly of how we have been receiving attacks here and there. But in the nutshell, what happened on Saturday was so pathetic, was so condemnable that very early in the morning, around 6:30 and 7 o'clock, major roads leading to Barikiladi from Hepan to Mangu, from Mangu to Fan, and so on and so forth, we are blocked. About 9 roadblocks we are mounted, illegal roadblocks we are mounted in these roads. And then they are conducting a search and stop and search of vehicles looking for Fulani that is killed. Unfortunately for them, they are not able to get any Fulani and kill. At about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, they went into the hinterland searching for Fulanis and their residences and their cows, and they started attacking them. That is how the problem came about.
So the Birom youths, they were looking for Fulani people to kill?
Of course, yes. Of course, yes.
Okay, Nura, are you working with the security operatives in any way to, first of all, maybe anytime you have your cattle attacked or your cattle killed, to report officially instead of, encouraging people to try and go on reprisal attacks?
Yes, what we are doing, we are working day in, day out with the security agencies in the state, especially the Operation Safe Haven and the Commissioner of Police. I report to them on hourly basis and tell them the situation on ground. I tell them what is happening, and I took them to the scene of the events that happens, more especially when they kill cows or kill a Fulani person, and then we take them to see the corpses, the dead bodies, and then they took their inventory and took pictures and do everything they will do. As in connection to these killings, some of the hoodlums were arrested.
Okay, Nura. Nura.
In prosecution with the...
Nura.
Yes.
Are you in any way equating human life with that of a cattle?
How can somebody equate human life and cattle life? It's incomparable. You should not ask me this question. It's incomparable. And a human life is he who produces the lives of the animals. He owns the lives of the animals. So they are not comparable.
So where's the misinformation? Because there's this perception about Miyetti Allah that they are the people actually,
they engage these killers.
They engage these killers.
Let me tell you, in the near future, they will continue analyzing the harassment of killing and here and there. And not only the harassment, not only the harassment, but whenever, now I am looking at it as if a car assaulted and killed people, that car will be called harassment. Because
Nura, are you there?
Sorry, you know, the vice president is coming to Jos, and they are telling me that he is around, so that we should not continue this. This is really affecting to me.
Okay, Nura, I want to thank you for your attention. At least he has cleared the air, but I don't know. Maybe that is enough.
No, certainly that can be enough. Okay. It's unfortunate that some people succeeded in stopping the interview. It's not the vice president is not coming to see him. He's coming to.
Maybe he needs to be there.
That is granting an interview does not stop the.
Maybe he was diverging too much.
Only God knows, because there are questions that we could have asked this man. Every time there is an attack, May Allah finds a way to say, oh, this happened before now, that happens before now. You cannot say, once you say this is a retaliatory attack, you are saying that you know the people behind it.
Yeah.
That is what people are saying.
No, that's what it means.
That's what people are saying.
That is what it means.
And it's difficult. Just similar to what happened in Benin. Oh, we don't want anti-open grazing law. Oh, you want them not to come up with the law. You said that after people were killed. That means you are saying that the killings were prompted by that law that government came up with. And you said, oh, you want them not to do it. So it's unfortunate that it couldn't continue to take our questions. But we could have asked a number of questions.
He even made something that shows, that confirmed the reprisal thing. He said that some Berom youths went out as early as 6:37 searching for Fulanis. That unfortunately for them, they didn't get any until 1 p.m. when they went into the interland. So, in other words, some Berom youths, according to him, were, for whatever reason, were looking out for Fulanis.
Well, he did not say any Fulani person was killed by the Berom youths.
Yeah, he said they couldn't get somebody.
Any justification
and that
to
they
now
now
go
went
after children,
he said they went into the interland to now attack some Fulanis in the interland, because when they couldn't get, he said they made roadblocks.
It's unfortunate that we could not,
get into honestly,
we could not get into tell us
who are those people responsible.
That brings me to what Jide said earlier. We can't continue to be living like cat and mice, and you know, for you to do something, this person, we're living with.
We can't justify taking human life. Yes. That is the worst crime any person can commit.
Against God.
Even if your means of livelihood is taken,
I'm telling you,
there's no justification. If people have to take the life of others because they are means of life, the workers who are being sacked will have gone to bomb their, the factories where they were sacked. So there's no justification for anybody. Look at those children. If you see those pictures on the internet, it's appalling. Children, 1 year, 2 years, women.
People know nothing about what happened.
You know, innocent people that don't even understand.
Why you kill those people? Because they're
so
cattle.
No justification there's no way anybody can defend it.
No, it's not something anyone can defend. Yes, no matter the background we give to what happened, there is still no way we can defend killing people. All we want is for the security agencies to do their work effectively. If Nora confirmed to us that he's been working with security agencies, telling them that these people, they've done this, they've done that, then what have they done to stop a looming carnage?
Yeah.
Or can people say that they look the other way? Because if you've been told that these guys are attacking people, this and that, and you still couldn't stop the kind of attack that took place later, then that means the security agencies don't know what they are doing. They are just not up to the game. They are not up to the game. The killings have to stop. It is not enough for Nigerian officials to just go there. The vice president is there to ask. It doesn't solve the problem. Yeah. President Buhari went to Zamfara the other day. As soon as he left the place, they continue killing people. So the appearance of Nigerian officials does not deter these people from taking lives. So people, I was going to ask him that you were able to make peace. How come now we are back to violence in that state? Because everyone was happy that peace returned to Plateau State. Plateau State, where hundreds of people used to be killed in year 2000.
Yeah.
You know, Plateau North. But there was peace for some time. And the people even played for a football match amongst themselves. Now we are back to taking each other's life in those places. The army arrested 162 headsmen. They made a noise about it that we have arrested 162 headsmen. They call them killer headsmen. Until Nigerians see that these killer headsmen are being brought to book, until we see pictures of them being taken to court and being served justice. Honestly, these killings will not stop. It's not enough to arrest people. If you go on Google, you will see the defense spokesman say, oh, they killed about 17 of us, but we arrested 162 killer headsmen. He didn't say politicians. He said killer headsmen. But today, we have no evidence that they've been brought before a court of law and served justice. That has to happen.
Funsho is calling us from Surulere. Thank you for joining us, Funsho.
Good evening.
Good evening, Funsho.
Yeah, I just think about something.
Okay.
There's this theory that I think about. Now, the Boko Haram militia, they've been dispersed from wherever they are. Now, there is this enormous surge of ammunition flying everywhere. And then, all of a sudden, it's now killer herdsmen. This Boko Haram is, my own theory is that the Boko Haram has been the one evolving into killer herdsmen. And they are the ones killing people all over Nigeria.
You are wrong, sir.
No, sir.
You are wrong, sir. Before Boko Haram was born, killer headsmen had been killing people. In the year 2000, we had these killings. This thing has been happening long before Boko Haram was born.
I even listened to the information minister talking about the first clash between headsmen and...
even the modus operandi is different. Yes, it's different.
You know, the mode of killing
is different.
Headsmen and farmers, as far back as 1942.
The leadership is well defined.
We are just looking for excuse. People think that that is also an excuse for the government. The government has no excuse. The government must solve the problem.
That is their duty.
If you think, oh, it's politicians who are behind this, you are not helping the government.
That's not
defense.
There's also
There's
this angle to the story that sometimes GTF people, the military people, look other way when this attack is imminent.
Well, let's tell ourselves the truth. I do not believe that they will just look the other way. That's an allegation that I have no proof of. I can only say things that I can defend. You understand? If they bring me before a judge now that you say so, it is something that I can defend that I will say on this program. What I know is that if your soldiers, your JTF, if they are carrying an AK-47, because we've seen it happen with Boko Haram, and Boko Haram has strength in numbers, and they are carrying the same weapon, and they overwhelm you with sheer size of their own fighters, they will run away. They will not offer any resistance. It has happened many times when our soldiers had brand new weapons that they just delivered to them in Baga. Did they wait to fight Boko Haram? Even after this administration came into office in October 2015, in the hometown of the governor of Yobe State, Boko Haram chased away Nigerian soldiers from a military outpost. Because
you know why?
You will run to fight another day.
Apart from that, if there is poor motivation and the morale is low, they may refuse to fight. So there are so many reasons why, you know, in that kind of conflict.
The
major one is what
the problem is that you cannot expect 10 soldiers to fight 300 herdsmen or
was it not what happened? Was it not even what happened in Chibok?
Yeah.
Because what happened in Chibok, we had soldiers guided that school, and we thought the number of soldiers that we had were enough. Today, I spoke with a survivor of this attack. He said, if we put three soldiers to guide a village, and they come in dozens, what do you expect the soldiers to do? That's the question that he asked me. And these are people who live in these communities. There is no amount of motivation that a soldier can have to stand up to about 30 people. It's illogical. You live to fight another day.
But that's the key. They come in numbers.
What the soldiers call it is tactical retreat. They make tactical retreat. It has happened many times during the war against Boko Haram. Even in Malam Fatori, before we took it back 2 days later, we retreated. They took the military outpost and we came back, took it from them again. If they overwhelm you with their size, what you do is you call for reinforcement. If reinforcement is slow, you escape and then come back, you know, to take the place.
Okay, I have Umar from Plateau State. Thank you for joining us, Umar. Umar.
Good evening.
Good evening. Please make it snappy.
My name is Umar, calling from Plateau State, Barikiladi.
Barikiladi, oh. Okay. Go ahead with the contribution, quickly.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm a spokesperson, Yeti Allah Barikiladi.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes. I've been following your conversation in the studio.
Umar, there's no time. Keep talking.
What happened from the past 4 or 5 days back, before what happened on Saturday? There was killing at... Hello?
Go on. Continue. Go ahead, Umar.
Okay. Okay, there was killing in Haipan. 4 headsmen, 4 Fulani people, our people that were going to Craft Falls. They left Bukuru to Barikiladi. They were going to Craft Falls. They were being killed in Haipan. 4 of them were being killed, murdered. The vehicle were burned. They were even having a cow inside that vehicle. So okay. We went to SPA, Operation Safe Haven, there in Barikiladi to report the incident. We went there with some of the security people, took the burned cow back to Barikiladi. And the painful thing about all those things, what even generate the issue that escalate all this killing around Barikiladi, the soldier in charge there in Barikiladi, what you were saying that it was a robbery attack. Those Fulani people were being robbed. They were being attacked by an armed robbers.
So that was what instigated the reprisal.
He has gone.
Wow.
That should be net.
Okay.
Whatever it is, whatever his account, they kill people in Haipan.
They kill 4, they kill 5, and
it is no justification to go and kill innocent people. Because at the end of the day, what someone said is that the number of people dead, killed, could be up to 230.
It could be, yes.
Yes. So because they killed 5 people at a checkpoint, that's the basis for killing innocent people. Some of them in their sleep. There's no justification. If every one of us reacts in this way, to the killing of our people, there will be anarchy in the land.
We have to do something about that, because that's the core of the reprisal. Okay, fine. It is not right for some people to have done that, whoever they may be, Berom use or whatever. But we cannot say because some criminal elements have done something illegal,
and resort to self-help,
government will now resort to self-help by killing innocent people that have nothing to do with the problem.
Wale?
And it's unfortunate people seem to have access to deadly weapons. So the government, as a matter of urgency, must find a way to control, this proliferation of small arms everywhere.
Thank you. Yeah. Wale Adeoye, Mayor Akipolu, thank you so much. And Babajide, thank you so much. And that's it on Journalist Hangout. Don't forget to join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. You can watch the repeat broadcast tonight at 11 and also watch Journalist Hangout on our other platforms showing on the screen. We're also on YouTube, youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. Our feedback channel is Journalist Hangout at tvcnews.tv. I'm Ayodele Uzubakun. See you tomorrow. God bless Nigeria.
This is